Let's learn some definitions of chapter AIDS to Health. First is vaccination. It is the administration of antigenic material to stimulate the immune system to develop adaptive immunity to a pathogen. It means that it is a practice of artificially introducing the germs or germ substances into the body so that the resistance against the diseases should be developed. It is also called as prophylaxis. Prophylaxis means that in the beginning only we should give the immunity against the disease which has not yet occurred, so that in future the person should remain protected from the disease. That's why the dead or weakened germs are introduced into the body. So that is vaccination. Next is immunization. It is a process whereby a person is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease. Usually immunization is the vaccination which is done at community level. Nowadays you must have seen that for COVID, the vaccination is given at large scale. That is immunization, protection against COVID before the COVID occurs. Now what is vaccine? Vaccine is product of weakened or killed germs given for the prevention or treatment of infectious disease. Next is toxoid. Toxoid is a modified bacterial toxin. Toxin means poison. When bacteria invade into the body, they release certain chemicals which are poisonous for our body, that are called as toxins. So, toxoid is to make that toxins non-toxic, but retains the capacity to stimulate the formation of antitoxin. These toxins which are taken from the germs are made harmless, and then they are introduced into the body so that they can stimulate the production of antibodies but do not cause any harm. Means there are 4 categories of vaccines. First is killed germs, in which the killed germs are introduced into the body so that the immunity can be provided against the future diseases. For example, TB vaccine, it is given against typhoid. SARS vaccine, it is given against poliomyelitis. And rabies vaccine, it is given for rabies, that is against the dog bite. Then second kind of vaccine is living weakened germs that are introduced into the body. This is in case of measles. And freeze-dried BCG vaccine against tuberculosis. BCG's full form is Bacillus calmette-guerin, named after 2 French workers. Then we are having living fully poisonous germs, for example of smallpox. In this vaccination, a person is inoculated with cowpox virus, which is very similar to the smallpox virus. Cowpox virus causes only a single pustule instead of multiple pustules. If you have seen a person who is suffering from smallpox or who is suffering from chickenpox, you might have seen that so many blisters are formed on the body. But in case of vaccination, only one pustule will be formed. And as a result, the person will have fever for 1 or 2 days, but afterwards the person will not suffer from chickenpox or smallpox. Nowadays, smallpox is eradicated from our country, and the suffering is because of chickenpox. That is also once in the lifetime a person suffers from chickenpox will not get the chickenpox again. Then we come to the toxoids. Toxoids are the inactivated toxins secreted by bacteria. For example, diphtheria and tetanus, their toxoids are given. Toxoids I have explained you earlier. These toxins are made harmless by addition of dilute formalin. Formalin is another kind of chemical by which the toxins can be treated to make them harmless. So these 4 are there in your syllabus. The next one is viral vector vaccine. So this is not included in this category, or this is not included in your syllabus. Now we will learn about antiseptics and disinfectants. Antiseptics, these are the mild chemical substances. Mild means in diluted form, very weak chemical substances, which when applied on the body, they will kill the germs. So these substances are in such mild concentrations, they cause no harm to our skin or to body. For example, Lysol, carbonic acid, iodine, benzoic acid, mercurochrome, boric acid. These all are good antiseptics in diluted form and will not cause harm to our body. On the other hand, disinfectants, these are the strong chemical substances that are applied only to the spots such as floors, etc., where the germs can grow and multiply. Commonly used disinfectants are Cresol, Phenol, Lysol, 40% formalin, lime, body admixture, DDT, etc. All disinfectants are strong and should not come in contact with the human skin. So when we are using them, we are wearing rubber gloves so that our skin should not be spoiled. Strong heat and boiling also destroy the germs and may be called as physical disinfectants. Deodorants, they are neither antiseptics nor disinfectants, but they only serve to mask a bad smell. Now we will learn about antibiotics. Antibiotics are the chemical substances produced by some microorganisms and kill or inhibit the growth of other microorganisms. So first antibiotic was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. He was working in the laboratory and he had grown up a culture of certain bacteria. And by chance, the fungus, that is Penicillium notatum, it inhibited the growth of bacteria when it had fallen on the culture of bacteria. So from this, the Fleming got the idea to kill the microbes which causes the diseases. Right. So Fleming named this bacteria killing substance as penicillin in 1929. On humans, the substance penicillin was first tried in 1940 and was found to be quite effective against several infections, particularly in case of sexually transmitted diseases such as gonorrhea, syphilis, etc. So, earlier the physicians in those days recommending a combination of penicillin and sulfa drugs under the name of pentate sulf. Thereafter, a whole lot of antibiotics such as streptomycin, chloromycetin, aureomycin, ampicillin, etc. have been discovered. So there are various sources of antibiotics. For example, penicillin was discovered from Penicillium notatum, but on the commercial scale it is prepared from Penicillium chrysogenum. Right? Then streptomycin was obtained from a bacterium Streptomyces. A large number of antibiotics are not made synthetically also in the cultural labs from the microorganisms. Now about the uses of antibiotics. Antibiotics are used to fight infections. They are used as food preservatives such as to preserve meat and fish. Some of these are used in treating animal feed also to prevent internal infections, and some antibiotics are used for controlling plant pathogens, means in the plants which are causing the diseases. Sulfonamides is a group of medicines which were introduced in 1930. It is bacteriostatic, used to kill many bacteria and effective against bacteria because they were interfering with the metabolism of bacteria. A sulfonamide alone is not working nowadays. We have to use sulfonamide drugs along with the antibiotics.